Yo, YouTubers and Arcus of Darkness, also known as Sir Killington of Color Stricken. We're going to tackle this Monique thing. So, Monique wants us to protest Netflix. Why? Because they offered her $500,000 opposed to the $20 million Dave Chappelle got or the $12 million that Amy Schumer got. Which, honestly, that $12 million I think is ridiculous. So we're going to tackle that a little bit later. One, Monique, as much as I love you, you've been around since the Parkers, and even though I hated the part you played in Precious, which I should have hated it because you made me feel and hate you and feel a whole lot of different emotions, you deserve the Oscar. You deserve the Oscar that you received. You absolutely deserved it, and you do have a long resume, and you are a legend in your own book. But you have to understand, and Monique's fans have to understand, fan base. Now let's go ahead and get to this, or demographics, or however you want to put it. Fan base, demographics, whatever. Dave Chappelle, fan base. We're going to start with Amy Schumer's fan base. Okay. Amy Schumer's fan base is the white, suburban, white women. Like, white bread white women. And I don't really know what I mean by white bread, but when you hear white bread and you think white women, is a type of white woman that's just white bread, right? It's plain. There's just no flavor. It's just, I was born in the suburbs and my family stayed in the suburbs and there's nothing interesting about me, white woman. I'm not saying all those white women are the same. I'm just saying that's Amy Schumer's fan base, right? It feels like there's no depth to those people. Okay, that's her fan base. Monique's fan base is actually the complete opposite. It's the urban, black and brown people, mainly black women, urban, ghetto. You can go ahead and say ghetto for all you want. Urban black people. You have to understand that Amy Schumer's fan base is bigger. There are a lot more of those white bread suburban white people than there are of black people, black women, urban black women in the United States of America. I would even argue that it's probably true for the European market as well, right? Monique's fan base and Amy Schumer's fan base are not equal. It is unfair because Monique is 1,000,000 times funnier than Amy Schumer, at least in my opinion. The reason why I don't like Amy Schumer, plain and simple, Amy Schumer steals jokes. If you ever watched Comic View back in the day or Def Jam back in the day, you would know that Amy Schumer steals jokes. If you have ever seen a Patrice O'Neal stand up, if you've ever seen any of the stuff he's done, you would know that Amy Schumer steals jokes. She stole jokes from him. Okay? And the crazy thing about it is that none of her fan base would know that because none of her fan base would have watched Comic View because it was a BET thing. Def Jam, it was definitely a black thing. While it reached white America, it was blacker than black thing. Patrice O'Neal, his fan base is a mainly black fan base. Okay, black hood, ghetto, black people fan base. So Amy Schumer's fan base would have not seen that. She's a thief. She's trash. She's a thief. Monique should be making within the same area as Amy Schumer, or Amy Schumer should be making significantly a lot less. But the problem here is, like I said, fan base and demographics. Her fan base is going to bring a lot more business to Netflix than Monique's fan base will. We're not going to bring up Dave Chappelle because Dave Chappelle is on a different level. That guy is, if there's a level, he's on level A Bravo. And if there's the top level, unfortunately, is Kevin Hart, who I don't find not that funny. He has some stuff that's hilarious, but as time went on, like most comedians, they start to become unfunny. Okay, Dave Chappelle and then fucking Kevin Hart would be an alpha, whereas Dave Chappelle would be alpha Bravo. Okay, Monique unfortunately would not be anywhere near these people comedically. And if you guys want, if she wants to be paid purely on resume, yes, she would be paid more than these people. But what they're asking for is a comedy special. They're not asking for Monique the actor. They're not asking for you to do skits. They're asking for Monique a stand-up comedy special. That's what they were asking for. At least that's what I understand. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. I have no problem admitting I'm wrong. If they were asking for more, then absolutely Monique deserves, absolutely she deserves more than a half a million. But I'm not going to protest for that. I'm not going to protest for that. No, I'm not. Sorry. It's your money. You got to go out there and get it. Got to figure it out. Okay. But also, what I do want to say this. There are other comedians that had specials on Netflix. If Monique had gone and looked at everybody else and found out that they were making near to what she, like, for example, Michael Che should not be, Michael Che Matters was one that he had a special on there. And I think Jay Farrow had one, or his might be on Netflix or Hulu. But I do know that my man's Michael Che had one. And I do know Hannibal Buress had one. Now, if those guys, any Hannibal Buress, Michael Che, or Jay Farrow was making nearly as much as making $500,000, then there's a problem there. I would absolutely say there's definitely a gender discrimination problem going on there, because all four of those people were black. So there's definitely a gender discrimination thing going on there. But if Hannibal Buress is not making $500,000, if Michael Che is not making $500,000, if there was Michael Che, Hannibal Buress, and Jay Farrow, if Jay Farrow is not making $500,000, then there's no issue there, because those are all stand-up comedies. You got to do stand-up, okay? Yeah, you got an Oscar. The Oscar don't count when it comes to the stand-up. Okay. Now, if you're going to make a movie, unfortunately, she says she got blackballed, and I believe that she has been blackballed. She has not been in that many movies. Like, usually when somebody gets an Oscar, they get offers like this. That's what I understand. Like, offers come, when you get a nomination, people know who you are. You start getting more and more and more recognition to your name. Absolutely, Monique should have such things. And I do believe she was blackballed. I think I seen her in one movie. It was one of those Christmas holiday black people get together, family reunion type movies. All those the 1,000,001 type black movies that we have in America. We need to start switching that up, by the way. But yes, absolutely, I would admit it. But you can't bring up Dave Chappelle, Kevin Hart, Amy Schumer, unfortunately. And even honestly, like I said, Amy Schumer is nowhere near as funny as Monique is, but she unfortunately has a fan base that carries her ass. Because otherwise, her jokes wouldn't carry her, because her jokes are trash, and she's trash. And unfortunately, she's not for me, she's for white people. I'm not in her demographic. Just like Monique would not be in Amy Schumer's demographic. And that's the reason why Monique is not going to make more than $1 million. Okay? She could make $1 million if she proves that these motherfuckers are really trying to downgrade, to trying to undercut her. But I don't believe that they are. I just don't believe that Monique's fan base is nearly as big as those people that she's mentioned. And that's the reason why she's not making the money. No gender discrimination, no race discrimination. Just purely for the fact that she does not have the fan base those people have. And it's unfortunate.